Introduction. Every business knows the importance of social media for their marketing campaigns. Social media provides the opportunity to create a potentially viral message, to build powerful relationships with fans and leads, and to get feedback from that audience. But social media is only one tool that the digital age provides us when it comes to reaching large audiences and building deeper relationships with them. The smart marketers know that the key to great success online is to use all of these tools together, to see them like pieces in a jigsaw puzzle that are endlessly more effective when used in a combined manner. The missing piece of the puzzle for many creators? Social messaging apps. Social messaging apps are, of course, such things as WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Skype, Instagram, and iMessage. Even good old-fashioned SMS should be counted in here. This is an option that has been available to marketers for decades now, and yet it is one that is very commonly overlooked by businesses. This is a huge missed opportunity, however, seeing as social messaging might just be one of the most powerful options there is for marketers. This training will explain why that is and show you how to tap into the full potential of this hugely beneficial strategy. Building an app. If you want to start increasing your brand visibility, gaining more sales, and generally taking your business to the next level, then you absolutely need an app. There was one point about 20 years ago when every business started recognizing how badly they needed a website. There was a sudden rush that followed as every business quickly started building websites and hiring designers. Today, there's absolutely no question that every business needs a website and that without one, they can't expect to reach nearly as many people or secure half as many sales. Everyone has been a little slower on the uptake this time around, but now we find ourselves in the exact same position with apps. In other words, if you run a business, then you need an app just as badly as you need a website. And as with websites, that need is only going to grow and grow as technology progresses. At this point, you might be wondering what use an app might have for you. Well, try asking a company like Starbucks or Amazon, and they'll tell you how they make far more sales directly as a result of their app. Or maybe you could turn to blogs like IGN, and they'd tell you how their apps help them to connect with their audience and promote their posts. But of course, an app can also be another option for promoting your business through social messaging. That's because a lot of companies create apps that have messaging functionality built into them, which actually has a huge number of benefits even over the regular features. What an app can do for you. So, a good place to start, then, is by asking what an app can do for you. For starters, an app can, of course, improve your visibility and help impress your visitors. Having an app makes your company seem more modern and more capable, and it means that people can now discover you via the Google Play Store and or the iTunes Store. On top of this, though, having an app also gives you a new way to communicate directly with your customers. This thanks to something called the push notification. Push notifications essentially allow your apps to post updates that appear right at the top of the phone and on the lock screen, and your app doesn't even have to be open to do this. That means you can tell your fans about your special offers or your latest blog post, and they won't even have to be using the phone to see it. Unlike email marketing, you don't have to compete with thousands of other marketers, and you don't need to worry about the spam filter. For these reasons, in fact, push notifications have an open rate of 92%. No email campaign will ever come close to that. Of course, when you use other social messaging apps, those apps will also include a push notification when a new message is received. However, you'll find that this isn't as impactful, seeing as those notifications are competing with notifications from other users. This is compared with a notification that you control in its entirety on a channel that you own. Then you have things like GPS. You can actually use this to direct your users directly to your store if you have a brick-and-mortar business. Or you can use it to send context-sensitive push notifications. In other words, when someone is outside your restaurant, you can offer them to come in for a drink. You can also use this information during a discussion, though be careful not to be creepy in this way. Apps also let you make direct sales in a very convenient manner. Using in-app purchases or PayPal, you can let your users look through your products and place orders at their leisure. Likewise, they can order food or book a table and they won't even have to leave the app. Starbucks uses this in a very smart way by letting users say what time they want their coffee and then pay through the app. That way, instead of having to queue on their commute to work, they can just pop in to collect their coffee with their name on it. Imagine being able to promote something via a push notification, then letting that notification take your user directly to your beautifully designed app where they can buy your product with one click and without having to enter any of their details, or letting them click to start up a conversation with you. This works for physical products, But it also works like a charm for digital products and is the perfect way for you to monetize your website and sell more ebooks. Even if it weren't for all those powerful benefits, an app simply provides a more tailor-made experience for your users to read content on their phones. They won't be distracted by other websites, and everything will load much more quickly. And here's another thing you may not have considered, that you can actually use an app you built in order to send someone Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp and to begin a conversation with you. This is a great way to integrate social messaging with an app you created for marketing. Now, what you're probably thinking is that this is all great, but beyond your capabilities, how can you build an app on your own with no experience? Actually, that bit is easy, and I'm going to show you why. Using app builders to create professional apps in 3 minutes or less. What if I told you that you could create a professional-looking mobile app in under 3 minutes? The good news? It's completely true. The trick is simply to use an app builder, which is a piece of software written specifically to make it easier for you to build apps in just a few minutes and then package them ready for iOS and Android. You can, of course, go the traditional route to create your mobile app, which will mean coding it yourself in Java, Objective-C, or Swift. This means learning a whole language for most people, though, as well as familiarizing themselves with the Android or iOS SDK. Then they have to set up their IDE. Will you use Android Studio or Eclipse? And install the latest virtual devices for testing. You'll need to learn how a manifest file works and how to set up your private key sign. And that's all assuming your computer is able to run all that stuff. It needs a lot of space if nothing else, and you can only develop for iOS this way on a Mac. So, probably not, right? Using an app builder isn't as flexible or powerful, but the good news is that many of them are designed specifically for internet marketing purposes. That means that the functionality they do provide is exactly what you're likely to need to promote your website, digital products, or business. Here are just some of the best tools that will get you started. Apatap. To use Apatap, you begin by selecting the app template you want. As you can imagine, this is essentially the layout you want and will define the broad purpose of your app as well as where all the individual elements are going to go. Next, you change the images you want and the text you want, and you select the features you're going to need. The features available include shopping cart, maps and GPS, in-app purchases, PayPal, push notifications, chat, image galleries, RSS feeds. You pick and choose these as you need them, so if you want to create an app to promote your blog, you'll probably just go with the RSS feed to show your content, and then use a push notification to alert your users about new content. On the other hand, if you want to let people order your products, you'll want to use the shopping cart, the in-app purchases, and the PayPal support. Once all that is done, you simply press publish and your app will be packaged, ready for the Play Store or iTunes. App Institute. This is another powerful app maker for iOS and Android that lets you get started quickly and provides a number of enterprise-centric features. That includes a very powerful booking feature, a loyalty feature, push notifications, and the ability to chat with a member of your team. All the stuff we need, in other words. It's not free, though you can build a trial app for free, but it is relatively inexpensive at $42 per month. AppyPie. AppyPie is a similar app builder that focuses primarily on simplicity. It's great for making specific types of apps, but you can use this to create a general business app if you so wish. Shout'em. We could keep going forever, so we'll just put one more item on this list. Shout'em. This is a very crisp and nicely made platform that you can use to make similarly attractive and modern apps for your business. It lets you stay in touch with your users using all the same features as others on the list, but also has powerful Shopify integration for selling from an e-commerce store directly. The other huge difference between creating an app for marketing purposes and using a more traditional form of social messaging marketing is that creating an app comes with an implicit permission to contact your potential buyers. In other words, if you message someone on WhatsApp without their explicit permission, then you might risk getting told off and upsetting the customer. However, if you message someone directly through your app, this is something that the user is likely expecting. By downloading the app, they demonstrate that they are happy to receive more communication from you, which entirely changes the relationship while allowing you to benefit from all the same features. We've only touched briefly on what apps can do for you, though, and how you can start making the most of them. Right now, only the very biggest and smartest companies are taking full advantage of mobile marketing with their own apps and mobile sites. If you want to get ahead of the competition, then this is a great way to do it, and it will lead to an instant increase in sales and engagement. Messaging apps for sales. So social messaging for marketing is all about creating deeper relationships with your existing customers and clients. This lets you transform those leads into qualified leads. But how do you turn qualified leads into buyers? The great news is that this is the perfect fit for social messaging apps as well. How to sell through social messaging apps. As we have somewhat touched upon already, social messaging apps are ideal for selling because they allow you to answer the questions of the client and to convince them to think about making a purchase. When we discussed the different platforms for social messaging, we saw some of the ways that we could strike up conversations with people using those platforms. For instance, you could message someone about a post they left on your Facebook wall. The key is to not try and sell from this position right away. If you send the message, "I see you posted on our wall, can I interest you in X product?" then you may well get blocked. However, if you send a message that asks a question and begins a conversation, then you can use this to then direct that conversation toward a sale. Ask them why they feel that way. Ask them what brought them to your site, and look for an opportunity to bring the conversation to products and services that you can provide. You can then begin with a gentle nudge, such as, "Have you considered X product?" or "Did you know we sold Y?" Another tip is to keep these messages short. Longer messages are off-putting for customers on these platforms, and especially if they aren't expecting them. 2 to 3 sentences should be considered your maximum. Upselling. Another great option for using social messaging is to upsell. That means that when someone buys something from your site, you then follow up immediately with the offer to sell something else. This can be done via a chat window, so that when someone buys your ebook, you then mention that they have qualified for a discount on your supplement range as well if they would be interested. This direct conversation, even if it is handled by a bot, makes it extremely easy for someone to buy from you. Instant engagement. It's common knowledge that when someone lands on your website, you will normally have about 10 seconds to convince them to stay. If they can't see what they're looking for immediately, then chances are that they will leave. How do you prevent this? One option is to have a chat window appear immediately and ask if it can help the visitor. This gives them an immediate answer to any questions they might have and prevents them from leaving out of confusion, one of the most paralyzing emotions that can completely destroy your sales otherwise. Collecting and managing contact details. One of the biggest challenges you'll face when it comes to your social messaging marketing is collecting the contact details of the people that you will be selling to and getting their permission to send them marketing materials. So how do you do this? There are a number of tools and strategies that lend themselves perfectly to using social messaging apps. Here are just a few. Messenger-specific Facebook ads. We touched on this notion already, but essentially it is possible to create Facebook ads where the goal is to trigger a Facebook message. This is a brilliant way to get more people on your list so that you can start contacting them and encouraging conversions. Messenger on your website. The same goes for adding Messenger to your website. By using Facebook's customer chat plugin, you'll be able to directly link Messenger to your website. That means your visitors will be greeted by a pop-up as soon as they arrive, helping guide them to your checkout page. What's great about this is that the stream of the chat will automatically be moved over to Messenger on Facebook, so you can continue right where you left off and find out just why they never clicked buy in the end. Use opt-in. Another option we have already touched on is the opt-in plugin. This is a simple checkbox you'll use on your email landing page that lets them also subscribe to your Messenger. You can likewise do the same thing with WhatsApp in a less direct manner by letting them enter their mobile number and tick a box stating that they're happy to be contacted. Rapportive. As mentioned, Rapportive is a powerful tool for growing your Instagram in-mail contacts in particular. This one works by letting you see the details of anyone that messages you on LinkedIn, so you only have to click to quickly add them to your network. Start up a chat. If someone comments on your post or photo, then you should respond. If this goes to 2 or more returns, then you can always just suggest that you continue the chat on social messaging. The same works for Instagram. Better yet then, why not post on someone else's? Invitation. It might be that a lot of people would happily chat with you or DM you, but the idea simply hadn't crossed their mind. Run a competition or just invite people to get in touch through a post, and you'll find your inbox swells fast. Mobile Monkey. A number of tools, including Mobile Monkey, ManyChat, and What's Help, can help you to generate leads on autopilot. These work by letting you convert anyone who comments on one of your posts to Messenger contacts. Basically, this works by using a bot which will automatically message anyone who answers a set post or question. The message will link back to your post, ensuring they know why they're being contacted and using that same excuse method we have used in person previously. This is a brilliant way to grow your audience without even trying. Customer Match. Customer Match is a tool that uses an API to send messages based on the first name, last name, or phone number. If it finds a match, a person who is on your list but isn't also on your Facebook Messenger, then it will send a request for them to opt in. Conclusions and closing comments. As you can see then, there are countless uses for social messaging apps for marketing and for business in general. I hope that this training has helped to open your eyes to some of those and to think outside the box with the way you use this tool. I hope it has also demonstrated to you just how powerful this tool is and why it absolutely deserves a place in your arsenal. Now you know how to build an audience, message them for the highest chances of success, and use apps and tools to get more out of the strategy. But ultimately, it comes down to good old-fashioned conversation. It's a lost art in the world of internet marketing. If you're among the first to bring it back, then you are almost guaranteed success.